A, 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 A. I don't know where that came from. Hello, my loves. Happy Venus Day. I hope that you all have loved on yourself and someone else today. If you are new here. Hello, if you are new here, I am Shawnee, okay, your resident sage. I use the language of mindfulness, magic, and astrology to make your life easier, to get you unstuck, to get you out of rejection paralysis, to get you out of freeze mode, and get you into action, into healing, into movement, into momentum, and into direction, baby. So if that's something that you need, definitely subscribe, stay tuned, and visit 11moons11.com so we can talk. All right, purr. Also, if no one has told you today, know that you are heavily protected, divinely guided, and highly favored in all that you are and all that you do. Okay? What's up, you guys? So, first of all, I just want to say I know that I have not made a video in a week, and it was not intentional. I've been going through some shit, and I had to get my emotions together, okay? Because what I don't want to do is just be crying all over the internet. That's not my tea. That's like, it's not for me, okay? If it happens one day randomly on a live, it happens. But if I know I'm emotional, I'm just not, I can't do it. I can't do it, okay? So, I'm back. Hey. And I really didn't disappear because y'all still been seeing me do my routines, okay? But I have not done a live in a week, and I just wanted to let y'all know that it was not because your girl is being inconsistent. I just had to regulate my emotions, okay? But we good now, and we can move forward, all right? It's Gemini season. Gemini is about head versus heart. For so long, even me, as someone who studies astrology and who is very spiritual and tries to look into the deeper meaning of things, when I think about Gemini energy, I think about self-acceptance. I think about merging your ego and your shadow, allowing them to work together, being comfortable with both aspects and sides of yourself. And yes, Gemini does bring that energy. But Gemini is the ruler of the third house. The third house represents our thought process, our communication, our word, both spoken and written, okay? And from a spiritual perspective, when I really think about the energy of Aries and how it comes with, action and forward movement and drive and dedication and leadership and impulsivity and kind of like this childlike innocence of, I'm here to experience this. I'm going to do the thing. I may not be doing it the right way, but I'm going to figure it out as I go. And we're going to get the thing done. And I'm not worried about the failure of it all. I'm not worried about the impact of it all right now. I'm just wanting to experience. Aries comes with that energy, and Taurus says, okay, I want to solidify this experience. I want this experience to be able to be a strong foundation to build upon, to enjoy, to appreciate, to materialize, And then Gemini comes and says, how can I connect that? How can I use that process of, I'm doing the thing, I'm going after it full force, I'm solidifying the thing, the foundation is there, to now it's not just me on an island by myself, but I'm bridging the gap of connection between myself and others, right? So a lot of what I think is missing in terms of the speak around Gemini energy and just the speak around this season is we have to connect with each other to be able to relate. Connection takes emotional maturity, and emotional maturity is something that a lot of people in this current modern society are lacking. Everybody has this individualistic mindset, and they think that their thoughts, their feelings, their contributions are the only ones that matter. And in all actuality, you are just a small bucket a small drop in a bucket of the sea, Okay, you're just a small drop. That doesn't mean that you're not special. That doesn't mean that you don't have impact. But what it means is you can't accomplish anything all on your own by yourself. Yes, you can make headway by yourself, but at some point you got to make connection. And Gemini energy is about relating and connecting through the power of your thoughts, right? But when we think about the conditioning that we're under right now, this individualism, the capitalism, the consumerism, the pressure to look for things to look a certain way, or the pressure for things to sound a certain way or be presented a certain way, um, those pressures put us into a space of being closed off, of not being able to empathize, not being able to be compassionate, not being able to maintain our integrity or emotional intelligence, because we can't relate, we can't understand, we can't comprehend. Why? Because we're so caught up on how we feel and what we believe and what we think. We can't take a second to put ourselves outside of our own shoes and put ourselves in the shoes of the collective, okay? It's very important that you learn how to do that. Not only so that you can gain some empathy like a human, okay? Because I don't know why y'all are demonizing empathy. You don't have to be such an empath that you are self-sacrificing and a martyr just because you understand, you're compassionate, and you feel for a situation. But you should be empathetic enough to relate to someone, understand how they feel, accept where they are, and compromise about how you can meet in the middle. And that's in romantic relationships, that's friendships, that's familiar relationships, that's business partnerships. Gemini season requires us to reconcile our heads with our hearts. Our heads will tell us, this is not right, this is problematic, this is making me feel this way, this is da 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 da. And usually all of those things are things that are either outside of our control or things that we have neglected within ourselves. But our hearts will tell us, this is the right thing to do. Behind your anger and your frustration, this is how you truly feel. So how do you want to move forward? And your head and your heart will battle. It'll battle because it'll be like, I don't want to move forward with this person in business. They wronged me 2 years ago, and even though they've shown consistent improvement, like at any given moment, I just feel like they're gonna be on some bullshit. And then so you're leading every interaction with that suspicion, and with that offense, and then the other person is defensive and they're shut down, and you're wondering why. And it's because of the preconceived notion that they're going to disappoint you, the preconceived notion that they're going to let you down, that they're not good enough, that there's always an issue. And this does not just happen, like I said, in romantic relationships. It can happen in the context I'm speaking of, like a business partnership, even friendships. So take this time during Gemini season to, one, work on your active listening skills, because we need to learn how to properly listen to people and receive what they're saying. Not based upon how it makes us feel or what we wanted to hear about it, but literally what they're saying and what that really means, plain and clear. Actively listen and be receptive. That's one. Two, we need to open up that throat chakra, okay? Open up that throat chakra, okay? Open it up and communicate. Communicate how you feel. Be honest about your intentions. Be direct in your word. Be specific in your word. Understand and accept the fact that your word is your wand, and the things that you speak manifest, baby. It manifests. Whether you say it out loud or whether you're saying it in your head, you're silently praying it, those things manifest. Okay? They manifest. Watch what you say and how you say it. And make sure that you are intentional with your thoughts. Make sure that you are intentional with your word. Y'all might ask me, Shawnee, how the fuck am I supposed to be intentional with my thoughts? A bitch just be thinking, okay? How do you expect me to control my thoughts? Listen, you can't control your thoughts, baby. Your thoughts are gonna do what your thoughts are gonna do, but you can control what you focus on. I just broke my goddamn nail and it hurt. It's not even fake. This is my real nail. My nails need to be done as it is, and it freaking broke. Okay, but it's fine. They need to be cut anyway because they're uneven. Um, that just distracted me from my whole entire point because that shit really hurt. Um, what the hell was I saying? Oh, managing your thoughts and what you focus on. You can't control the thoughts. We're on a stream of consciousness. The thoughts are gonna come, baby. As long as you can breathe and your brain is throwing out waves and functioning, the thoughts are gonna come because you're connected to a stream of consciousness. Okay, but you could choose what thoughts you focus on. And when you actively choose what thoughts you focus on, you can better control your reactions and responses to the environment around you, to the people around you. Okay? Because one day you may wake up focusing on the wrong shit, and then you're going off on the wrong people, and you're prioritizing the wrong things. And the next day, you may wake up feeling grateful and abundant and free and open, and then you're a completely different person. And I'm sure that you would rather wake up as person B than person A. And yes, you can have balance between that. You don't want to bypass your emotions, but just watch what you focus on. Don't sit around focusing on negative thoughts. Don't sit around focusing on negative experiences, okay? It's not going to solve anything. It's just going to make everything worse. So reconcile that disconnect between your head and your heart. Get them to a point where they agree with one another, where they're willing to say, you know what? My heart is settled in what my head has decided on, and my head is settled with what my heart feels. And it may take some self work, it may take some shadow work, it may take some journaling, some releasing, some confessing, some personal development, some travel for you to reconcile that. But this season is about the reconciliation of your headspace and your heart space. It's a whole lot of y'all right now, including myself, before the last couple of weeks. My head was telling me one thing, my heart was telling me another thing. I was stuck in between listening to my head or my heart, and eventually it just got to a point where my head won because my reactions, my responses, my emotional disdain and negativity is taking over. It's taking over in my business, it's taking over my relationships, it's taking over in my friendships, it's taking, it was just taking over. It's like the angry teen that is like, why do I always have to be the bigger person? Why do I always have to do the right thing? Why do I always have to be compassionate and understanding and be the one to make the change and promote growth? That girl in me who was tired of being forced to be independent, tired of being forced to take responsibility and accountability for everything, tired of being forced to reconcile other people's internal issues from my own insights and intuition and conclusions that I'm able to draw from my gifts. That teen girl in me was taking over my life for a while, and I didn't see it until I got outside of it. Okay? And I know I'm not the only one who has done that. It's like I'm in a car, I'm in the back seat, and I'm telling her, hey, you need to calm down. You need to regulate your emotions. You need to practice some more self-care. You need to get focused on some things like relax. Everything is going to be okay. And she's just on 1,000. She's just going 100 miles an hour. She's cussing and screaming at everybody. You know what I mean? Like, not me literally acting like that, but this I'm telling y'all that's what it's like. It's like you're in the backseat of a car. Your inner angry teen is driving, and she's like, "Fuck it all, fuck it all, fuck it all, fuck it all," and she's just blowing up bombs and working against your actual intentions of forward movement, of peace, of healing, of reconciliation, of redemption, of whatever the fuck, success. You know what I mean? Like, don't put yourself in that situation. But also, give her some grace. The third house is about early childhood, early life. It's early on, okay? It's early on in the mix. Have some grace for your inner child. Have some grace for your inner teen. Let her know, hey, I respect how you feel and I understand your contempt. But we're not going to act as if we don't know the things that we know now. We didn't know that then. And so, yes, we were allowed to be emotionally led, but we have the wisdom now to understand some things and reframe some things in our minds, which will redirect our thoughts, which should then in turn reform our statements and communication. So I want you to start telling yourself a different story about who you are, what your life is, what your life is becoming, and who you want to be. I want you to get very specific and intentional about that thought process and those words. I want you to do it from the present and not the past, because you can't go back and change the past. You can't go back and mend the things that happened in the past. You can revisit it for the purpose of finding the root and finding a solution, but you can't change it. It happened and you felt how you felt about it, and now you just have to move on from it. You just have to move on from it. This past couple of weeks, I've been back in touch with my mom. I've been back in touch with my dad. Am I completely open and trusting and available to them? Absolutely not. But I know that the inner child in me needed that healing. I needed my mother to hold me as I cried like a baby. I needed my dad to look at me and tell me, I love you, and hug me and give me a kiss on my forehead. And tell me, no matter how much time goes by, if I don't speak to you, I'm always going to be here for you. I'm only one call away. I needed that. My inner child, teen needed that for my own healing. And I want to invite you to take control of your own healing during this season. Take control of your own healing by having the conversations that you need to have, by changing the story that you're telling yourself about who you are, by changing and reframing your thought process to actually fit your intentions instead of working against you. That's how you reconcile your head and your heart, baby. Okay? I want to encourage you to do that. That is the work of Gemini season. Look at your birth chart and see what house Gemini falls in for you. For me, I am a Scorpio rising. Gemini falls in my 8th house. Okay? With Gemini falling in my 8th house, it's very karmic for me. It's very much releasing, transformation, rebirth, growth. Okay? And I'm going through all of that. It has not been easy. It has not necessarily been fun all the time, but I can say it has been rewarding for sure. I have a peace that I have not had in months. I have a drive that I have not had in months. I have a clarity that I have not had in months. I have a focus that I have not had in months, okay? And it's not by chance, it's by design, because I've been intentional about being disciplined, being consistent, being direct, being communicative, being open, okay? It's intentional. You need to be intentional right now about the foundation that you're laying for the rest of the year. You've already laid the foundation because we're in June. So the foundation should be there. But We all know that 2023 was a clusterfuck for everybody. We all know that. We were there. Coming into 2024, we all was like, I'm just trying to take a deep breath and get my shit together. We all took a deep breath, and then we looked up and it was May. Taurus season brought a little bit of comfort, reward, but for the most part, we always stressing about money, about finances, about our personal, our sense of self-worth being rooted in how much money we have or don't have, and the things that we're able to afford or not afford, and the financial planning and strategizing that we have done or have not done. Okay? Majority of the collective is caught up in that. Now, when we get into Gemini season, it's about growth. It's about understanding. It's about relation, connection, and redemption. Because when we move into Cancer season, it's gonna be a time of healing, of peace, of love, of deep emotional purging, and finally getting the comfort that you need for your inner child to just be able to rest and be secure. Okay? That's the progression of Aries to Cancer season. So, reconcile that space between your head and your heart. Take some time to really get clear about who you are, about what you want, about what you have done to contribute to the failures, the problems, and the issues in your life. And don't focus on what you can't control. What you can't control is what other people have done. What you can't control is what other people think. What you can't control is what has already happened in the past. So there's no point in continuing to rehash anything or keep going through it. It's really just about revelation and release. Okay? Revelation and release. That revelation and release is going to give you a newfound respect for yourself, which in turn is going to reframe your thinking, which is going to redirect your story, which is going to reaffirm your word, your worth, and your direction. And you deserve that. Okay? So I'm going to leave you all with that. As you know, you are heavily protected, divinely guided, and highly favored, baby, in all that you are and all that you do. I am going to end with a postcard from Spirit. Make sure that you leave a comment on this video, thumbs up the video, and subscribe, baby. Let me know that you are here. Make your presence known, make it loud, make it clear. Okay? It says, "Dear you, there is a balance between activity and rest, ebb and flow. You can't have one without the other. If you're faced with an obstacle right now, the best course is surrender and non-resistance. Soon enough, you'll see how easy it is to flow around it. Now is one of those times when you must trust the river of your life. Go with the flow, and in no time, you'll reach what you have your heart and hope set on. Just remember, Spirit will keep your head above water and will redirect the currents. When it's time for a greater effort, you'll know exactly when you'll need to work those manifesting muscles. It can be challenging to master the flow cycles of your life, but as you develop your skills, affluence will be yours. Enjoy the flow and trust those currents, for we're right there with you with our little umbrella drinks, smiling at your success. Love you very much." Period. The best course of action is surrender and non-resistance. If you get past the point of wanting to fight, kick, scream, cry, drag, and I know what y'all are thinking, we going to hell. Ain't nobody kicking and screaming, fighting and falling out. I know y'all not doing that literally. I'm talking about figuratively, okay? Like, y'all know y'all be throwing tantrums. Y'all be throwing adult tantrums. And this is saying, stop doing that shit. Stop throwing the adult tantrums. Relax. release, surrender. Okay? Take a moment to get clear about what you have your hearts and hopes set on. And in time, you will see that that is revealed. Okay? I love you guys. And until next time, I hope y'all have a wonderful Venus day. Love on yourself and somebody else today because you deserve it.